Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando. If you can hear my 3D printer running in the background, that's because she's been running non-stop for nearly 3 days now. And Games Workshop has managed to miss the very first step on their roadmap for 2025. While we've had the Talons of the Emperor's Army list, the Legacies of the the Age of Darkness PDF has not materialized. We had an article which told us what was going to be in it, and then we got an FAQ and errata telling us that many of the things that people complained about were actually just mistakes and would be added back in straight away through the errata. We didn't get the PDF. Now, why is this? Well, lots of theories are spinning around the internet at the moment, and the most prominent and popular one is that basically they did not predict the backlash that was going to come from the leaks, and they've kind of gone, oh dear, we need to completely go back and rewrite this, because it's not going to be okay. Whether that's true or not, I have absolutely no way of knowing. But it certainly sounds the most feasible option to me. I'm assuming possibly the backlash is also mainly, or maybe they decided to re-add a load of the Sisters of Silence stuff because people were angry about that. I don't know. But, yeah. Not a good start for 3.0, and I'll be honest, the opinion I'm getting from the people I talk to across, different platforms. I go through Reddit, I go through forums, Facebook groups, Discords, all over the place. The people who loved it when the leaks came out still love it. The people who hated it still hate it. And there's been a little bit of shift between it, but not much. And I'll tell you what, the people that hate it, they're not being convinced by the PDF, they're not being convinced by what they're seeing, and neither am I. We had a good chat earlier, like what could GW do to fix this, and generally the sort of most common train of thought from people was this edition's going to have to be treated a bit like I think it was 6th edition 40k, which was a very short edition. It was only about 18 months. And that got me thinking, would that be acceptable? Because would we want a 4.0 edition? Because a 3.5 edition is not what people want. People wanted a 2.5. They did not want 3. They did not want a radical change to the rules, and that's what they got. So instead, they would need another radical change to the rules, a reversion of the rules, which GW would probably not do, and they will more than likely double down, because from the many years I have dealt with corporations, I can tell you that corporations, they're very spiteful beings. Corporations, if a customer base turns around and says we don't like something, the corporations take it personally. They double down, they triple down, and they get worse, because probably someone who's paid an awful lot of money came up with the idea and they don't want to admit they're wrong, and they get their feelings hurt. So we'll probably get a 3.5 edition, which will not fix the majority of the complaints people want, and a new shiny box set. Yay! Would that be enough? Maybe. I doubt it. Honestly, they could drop a box set that had 40 Mark V Marines in it, Heresy and Dominatus Terminators, a box Dreadnought, plastic breaches, the works, and I don't think I'd be impressed. I'd probably buy it, but I don't think... I can't see the fan or the customer goodwill coming back easily. It's going to take a long period of time, in my opinion. And that is just from, watching people talk about this. The people who like it, the people who are Games Workshop fans, have been incredibly condescending and smug. And anyone's legitimate complaints and concerns have often been dismissed in a lot of more pro GW spaces. You know, a lot of the Reddit boards, a lot of the Facebook groups are very, very pro GW. The moderation teams of often are zealous in their pro GW stance, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You know, we should be fans. It's a hobby we all enjoy. It's a company who makes a product we all enjoy, more or less. We should be supportive, and that's what I want to be. I'm not willing to be cultish about it, though. So, am I going to see my militia army list in August? Will the Demons of the Ruinstorm and the Inducti rules come out in September? We'll be honest, I seriously doubt Black Shields and Shattered Legions are going to make it in October. In fact, Demons, Black Shields and Shattered Legions, I'm surprised they're even being considered. Like, in 2.0, they got almost nothing. They were an afterthought. And how do you not have Zone Mortalis rules ready until the end of the first year? That, Zone Mortalis should have been the first journal book. Zone Mortalis should have been, you know, a couple of months tops, and it should have been ready and heavily playtested. But we know it won't be, and if it's as bad as it was in 2.0, it's going to be a non-starter, even with plastic breaches. So yes, instead of that, we got an article here on some Imperial Knights, and it's an impressively good-looking army. You know, it's not a problem. I like this sort of article. It's, you know, the artist here, the hobbyist, clearly has some skills. He talks about using some paints here that I quite enjoy, like Eidolon Purple. I wish there were some better quality pictures. I'd like to see some high quality images with these sorts of articles. You know, some good close-ups. These images are quite annoying. They don't show a lot, and I know I can you know, view them in source and I can get better quality, but in the article itself, as it is shown, I think it could be better. Now, there was a really interesting bit, which is this little bit down here. Thanks, Rich. All of the new rulebooks from Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, are on the shelves right now, along with the massive Saturnine box set, and all the individual kits are up for pre-order this weekend. Except that's not what this article said when it was first published. When this was first published, this article read, all of these individual kits are up for pre-order tomorrow. Which means this was supposed to be released tomorrow, because the pre-orders are on Saturday. So they knew they weren't going to make their deadline today, and they kind of panicked, and just published an article early. They go back and they go and change it eventually when they finally realise their mistake. You can see it there. So yeah, an interesting start to the Heresy, and honestly, if this is how they plan to continue, it's not going to be a great addition. I hope it gets better. I really do. I want to be happy. I really want to be happy about this edition. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to look at models and I want to have that childlike sense of wonder when I see a kit and just be like, boy, oh gee golly, that's amazing. But it doesn't seem to be that way anymore. You know, we saw CG renders for units in this army that we still haven't seen models for when Book 9 came out. So yeah, this and the fact that the rulebook is basically feels soulless, and how it's very clearly been run through an AI to strip it down and make it smaller, strip the fluff out of it. And there's a couple of people out there who've done some really good in-depth comparisons and have, you know, really proven that point. The quality of the company is just dropping like a stone. Anyway, this is also the end of my Kit Bash community challenge. If you've not, you got no 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes to send through anything. Tag me in it. You can tag me on Twitter as @breakfast_bando. You can post it here on Instagram, or sorry, on YouTube, which is obviously on the community page. If you follow me on Instagram, go ahead and just drop me a message on there. Or if you're on Discord, it's just down in the hobby chat. And yeah, I'll be making a video shortly, and we'll talk about all the different models everyone sent through. So thanks, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. I really do. I'm very surprised by how many people make it to the end of these videos. And if you have, you don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and give me a ruin storm in the chat if you made it this far. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Remember, it's Friday. You've made it. Another weekend is here. Bye-bye.